Hello everybody and welcome back to Pathfinder Plays, and today we are talking about if Dayz is worth buying in 2020, assuming you haven't bought it already. Dayz does so many things right. It didn't win the Better with Friends award for nothing, which obviously the game is better with friends. They have a pretty good voice chat built into the game, and your voice changes depending on if something is covering your mouth or not. They focus a lot on attention to detail in that regard. Another thing Dayz does well is that it gives you a lot of area to explore on two expansive maps. And I would say that the best thing Dayz does is it gives you a great experience of human interaction. Will the person you just randomly ran into murder you, kidnap you, or be your friend? You will never know until it happens. Dayz gives you risk and reward. However, let's be honest. It's 2020. It is no longer 2016 or heck, even 2013 whenever it was on early access. There are arguably other better survival titles for a person to buy nowadays. Survival games like Conan Exiles do incredibly well, and word on the street is that Scum has made a huge turnaround. Although the issue with Scum is that they released too early and ruined their reputation with the community who played it and hated it and then vowed never to return. But there are also games coming that are likely to be more polished in experience than Dayz, which I think would be worth holding out for. These games include Dead Matter, which I cover heavily on this channel if you're interested, Dead Side I've heard about, Withstand I've heard about, and of course Last Oasis has been picking up traction. These games are all going to be releasing in 2020 as far as I know, and have had the opportunity to learn from the failures of its predecessors, and given that, may just be the ones to dethrone Dayz. So why do I say this? What is so bad about Dayz that I would recommend not purchasing it to new players? Well, for starters, it's the bugs. The game has been in early access on Steam since 2013, and just recently in 2018 fully released. And by fully released, I mean it released fully with critical bugs. I am talking about not being able to drive a car with a full server because you'll pull a Harry Potter and fly away, or you'll just explode. Bodies clipping through walls, and that man or woman that you fought so desperately with was all for nothing because the body is now unlootable. Unstable servers that make your game crash. Your character model having his hands and body so disformed that you can't even see your firearm. Or even if you do have a gun and you see someone and shoot them, the shots may not even register. These are insanely bad bugs which drastically affect gameplay and the user experience, and one would have expected to have them been dealt with in the near decade it's been developed. Another thing that makes this game unappealing to recommend is that the world, though is large, is stagnant and boring. It's not alive. And I understand you're going to say, but Pathfinder, it's a post-apocalyptic title. I know it's a post-apocalyptic title, darn it. But guess what? There's literally only about 10 building models in the entire game. I'm fine. You can run around. It's a massive world. But with only a copy and paste of a select few building models in the entire game, you run into the same layout, the same colors, the same shapes from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. This makes for a very bland looting experience and also makes you feel like you have experienced the map in its entirety after just a few towns that you visited, because you know that the next one you find is going to be exactly the same. The only redeeming quality about the exploration is the military bases. A big thing that makes this game unappealing also is that it takes forever to get anywhere. You can spend hours in traveling alone and experiencing almost nothing besides a few zombies. I know I'm not alone in saying this, but I have been on multiple servers that are maxed out, 80 out of 80 players or more, and never run into a single person for an hour or more at a time. The map is so big that it almost makes it a burden to travel from one point to the next in one playthrough. That being said, large maps are awesome, but the bugs mixed with the bland buildings, mixed with the lack of human interaction, which makes it quite astonishing when you do come across a human, make it quite the tedious process. Though the games that are coming up, some of them are working to eliminate this bland travel experience where there's nothing to do except just auto run to your destination and hope no one shoots you in the face. That game would be Dead Matter, and they're actually hoping and implementing certain secondary locations that will keep you fascinated and exploring and engaged the entire time you're going from point A to point B. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was a short video, and this was my review of Dayz and why I don't think you should buy it just yet, and why you should wait out for other titles or just spend money on current existing titles. I just want to say before I go that 84% of you watching this video are probably not subbed to the channel, and I know you return, because my analytics don't change in this regard. So do me a favor, if you've been here before or if you've made it to the end of this video, you obviously enjoyed it in some regard, so go ahead and just hit that subscribe button, please. And hit that like button. And maybe even share it with your friends or family because they're thinking about buying Dayz and you want to either have them wait for a sale or just spare them the pain altogether. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Dayz is worth purchasing in 2020? Do you think the other games won't even have a chance against it? I want to know. So leave them in the comments below, and path out.